Okay, now look at the mind's stimulation 9 at page 13. Aim to identify the effect of changing the values of C on graph of quadratic functions fx equal ax squared plus bx plus c. In this, they change the value of C from -4. Okay, you look at the diagram, right? -4 to -2. So what in the drawing that you can notice?
The C is changing.
Yeah, the intersection with the y-axis is changing. Okay, so what you have to understand about C is the value of y-intercept. Just like straight line y equal to mx plus c. That C is y-intercept. This C is also y-intercept. Okay, so you might not using that knowledge here, but later on you have to know the facts. It's easier for you. Okay, alright. So now look at example 2. The quadratic function fx equals x squared minus 3x plus c passes through a point A as given below. Calculate the value of c for each of the following cases. The A is 0, 4. So 0, 4, if you know, it is located on the y-axis. Yeah? Okay? X is 0 is on the y-axis. So 4 is actually the value of c. Got it? Okay. So you do not really have to replace whatever. You just replace c as 4. Okay. Now, if you are given that the same function fx equal to x squared minus 3x plus c passes through another coordinate, which is -1, 3, you do not know the value of c. So what you do in order to find the value of c, you just substitute substitute x as -1 and substitute fx as 3, and you solve the equation. Do you understand the concept? But I'm going to show you how to answer question number 1 at self-practice 1.1c at page 14. So question number 1a, the function is x squared plus 7x plus c, and it passes through 0, 5. So, do you notice that 5 is actually y-axis? Alright, so what we do, actually in case that you want to replace x as 0, that is also okay. Right, so what you have, you are going to get c as 5. Okay, so therefore the equation is fx is equals to x squared plus 7x plus 5. And for b, we have another function. Fx is 2x squared minus 4x plus c, and it passes through 2, -3. So in this case, because the coordinate here we do not know about the value of c from this coordinate, so you replace x as 2 and fx as -3. So let me tell you again, this -3 is not the value of x, but the whole thing here. Okay, so it should be okay. Because of some problem with the lighting, I will write it down here. So fx you replace as -3 equals to, okay, the lighting is there. Let me see. Okay, I can write it here. Okay, so -3 is equals to, now you replace x as 2, 2 times 2 square minus 4 times 2 plus c. So you do not know the value of c, you want to find the value of C, so you have to calculate. We have here this one. How to calculate this? Actually, because all these are numbers only, you can just press calculator. That is one. Or you can calculate, but you have to make sure of the board mass. 2 square first. 2 square is 4. 4 times 2 will be 8. This 4 times 2, 8. So 8 minus 8. So it will be 0 plus C. So the value of C is negative 3. Therefore, the equation or the function is fx equals to 2x squared minus 4x minus 3. Okay, let's discuss C first before I let you to copy or to redo on your own. So fx will be equals to negative 2x squared plus x plus C, and the y-intercept is 4. Okay, so what you have to do here? Just replace C as 4, because if you know the fact that C is y-intercept and you are given y-intercept is 4, so y-intercept equal to 4. So fx is negative 2x squared plus x plus 4. Any other question?
No.
Alright. Okay, you can have the time to redo. Okay, before we try to do question number 2, you should look at page 11. Minds stimulation 7. Okay. This experiment, actually, if you have graphing calculator, you do not have to have the physical calculator, but you can just download graphing calculator and just look at the diagram. If you substitute value of A as 0.8 and then substitute maybe you just write down for example fx or y equals to 0.8 x squared, and another figure that is y equals to 3.2 x squared plus bx plus c plus bx plus c, where the value of b and c are constant. Okay, you will find that the graph we have this on the same figure. If you are using the graphing calculator, there are instructions you can draw a few figures at the same time. Okay, then we can compare. So let's say this is the graph where A is 0.8 and there is another graph where A is 3.2. Okay, you will find that the figure, the larger graph is because of the value of A is smaller. Okay, you can find that. So in other words, in case that you are talking about negative value, let's say we have y equal to negative 0.8 x squared plus bx plus c, and y equal to negative 3.2 x squared plus bx plus c, the figure will be like this. So this one is for the larger one, and the other figure will be they will meet at the same maximum point. Okay, so this one, because okay, so in this case we can say in case A is positive, the larger value of A, the smaller the figure. It applies the same thing if you disregard of the negative, because you cannot say negative 3.2 is bigger than negative 0.8. No, you have to say if you disregard of the negative, the larger value of A, then the smaller the figure. Okay? Something like that. Okay. So, changing value of A, apart from A is positive and negative, because if A is positive, it will be smiley. If A is negative, it will be a sad face. Okay? Smiley and sad face. But we are talking about changing the value of, or whether both are positive or both are negative. We compare the smaller value of A, the figure will be larger. Okay, now look at question number 2, exercise practice 1.1c. So in this instant, we have figure like that and another figure which is smaller, and it intersect at y-axis. Okay, so state the range of values of P. Okay, okay, so it's not given. What is given? This is the gx is negative 4x squared plus 3. Okay, what we notice that this one is for the smaller one. For the bigger one, so fx is negative px squared plus 3. Okay, so how do we compare? So, okay, disregard of the negative, okay? Because negative compared to negative, so we can just, okay, so which one is larger? Is it P larger or 4 is larger? 4 is larger. Okay, it means P is smaller than 4. Is it possible that we write smaller than or equals to? Yes or no? No, because they are definitely using different figures, so it means they are not on top of each other. Okay? So, is this the answer? Not yet. Why not? Because if you not remember the value of A, if it changes from positive to negative, so from positive to negative, the shape of the graph will be different. And then another condition that you have to remember is that when the value of A is 0, it is no longer a quadratic equation. So P has to be bigger than 0. It has to be ranged like this. It cannot be, alright? So now what you have to remember is that we eliminate the negative. So between P and 4, 4 is larger than P. Okay, so the answer for the question 2 is this. Okay, look at question number 3. The diagram on the right shows the graph of quadratic function fx equals to, okay, maybe better if I to redraw this. This is h here, and the coordinate of the maximum is 314, and 0 is here. Okay, so the graph is kx squared, fx is kx squared plus 6x plus h. Point A, 314 is the maximum point of the graph of quadratic function. Given k is an integer where k is between negative 2 and 2, state the value of k. Right, so in this case they ask you for the value of k, and they tell you k is between negative 2 and 2. So what are acceptable values for k here? If you are given the values, then they tell you the k is integer. So what are values that is acceptable here?
2.
No. It has to be larger than -2 and more and less than 2. It doesn't write equals 2.
0.
So 2 and -2 are not acceptable. So based on this range, what are integer value? Let's say I'm telling you solve this without looking at the diagram. What are values of k acceptable here?
0, y,
Other than that,
and negative y.
so we should start from the smallest value. Okay, right. So this info is based on this. But look at the diagram. What do we notice about the diagram? What is the shape?
Maximum.
Maximum. If I will replace k as 0, so 0x squared plus 6x, does it shape like this? No. 0x squared means the graph is straight line. Understand that? So 0 is not accepted. Okay. We eliminate based on the figure. We get the three values from this inequality, and we eliminate whichever figure that is not suitable. So is -1 suitable for this graph?
No.
Why not?
Because it's negative.
Because it's negative. You are totally wrong. Why? Because if the value of A is negative, then the figure will be maximum. Maximum when A is less than 0. Minimum when A is more than 0. So this value is acceptable. Okay, as long as it's negative. Okay, so now when we talk about k as 1, this is not acceptable because when A is 1, it should be smiley face. Okay, so try to remember that. Okay, so the final value k is equals to -1 only. That is the only acceptable value there. Okay, alright. Now look at B. Using the value of k from A, calculate the value of h. So we should rewrite fx is equals -x squared plus 6x plus h. So how do we determine the value of h? Just replace any coordinate on the graph. The only coordinate is 3, 14. So you replace fx is 14, negative bracket 3 square plus 6 times 3 plus h. So you get -9. So you have to understand -9 because 3 square 9. Then you open bracket, you become -9. Okay, so plus 18 plus h is equals to 14. Okay, okay, now I'm going to write it down here. Alright, so 14 is equals to 9 plus h. Because I calculate this, -9 plus 18 will be 9. And in order to know h is 14 minus 9, so h is 5. So, therefore the equation will be fx is equals to -x squared plus 6x plus 5. And look at C first. State the equation of quadratic function form when the graph is reflected in the x-axis. Do you understand how to do reflection? Give your answer in the form of fx equal ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, can you figure out this figure? Can you figure out how does the shape changes when it's reflected on the x-axis. You take the figure, just pull down. You just imagine that this is a string. Alright? Pull it down, so it becomes like this. Okay, so what will happen if this h is 5, this value will be -5. Okay, but the root does not change. The maximum will change to 3 -14.
14.
Okay, so how to find that? What you have to understand is that apart from value of c, which is now 5 changing to -5, the value of this one also changes to negative, and the value of a will change to positive
Positive.
because now is smiley. So the answer for C will be fx equals will be x squared minus 6x minus 5. Okay, any question?